Yesterday was sensational. We learned a lot. We covered a lot. And what I wanted to dive into this morning was around this idea of neutralizing our power. This is an important and I think really cool idea. And how you go about it is even more beautiful. And why is this important? So, how do we get there? How do we get to the point where we know we need to neutralize our power? This is the moment when you feel like the thing that you desire, the life you desire, the ideas you desire, the amount of money, the people, whatever it is that you desire, if it's actually outside of you, we have placed it on a pedestal. We do this all the time with money. We put money on the pedestal. And what happens, and the behavior that happens as a result of that, is us hesitating. That's the number one. If you are hesitating in your life on something, if you're hesitating on moving toward what you desire, it's typically because what you desire, you are perceiving it as outside of you. And so therefore, it's more powerful. It's unknown. It's a little scary. It's a little intimidating. And gosh, it'd be so good if it would just only show up. When that energy comes in, we move from sovereignty and power into begging and proving and wishing and hoping. And you will see this in your own energy field. You'll see this in your own language and way of being if you start to really watch for it. And trust me, I'm right there with you. This is a practice that gets easier, but it depends. I mean, it depends on who I'm around. It depends on what situation I'm in, where maybe someone I haven't seen in a while. And so it's bringing up past Kim. And so I'll find that I will want to match that because it's a person from my past. And suddenly I'm not acting like current or bringing in future Kim energy. I am old Kim, and I have to recognize that and check it right away. And so there's moments where I catch it sooner. Or maybe I haven't been in a job interview in a while, but maybe there's something coming up. Oh, yes. Okay, so I did just do something at the YMCA. And I had to like pitch what I do because this woman was like, wait, what's an embodiment coach? What's a da, da, da? And I was like, okay, well, this is what I do. And I haven't had to pitch my empowerment coaching. I haven't had to pitch radical ritual method to anyone really yet. So I found myself getting a little nervous. And then because I was nervous and this moment was outside of me, it suddenly felt more powerful. And when that happens, we tend to pedestal things. And then when you pedestal something, you can easily slip into, I got to prove why this is worth it. And I felt myself doing that with her. This really nice, beautiful, she wasn't an intimidating woman. I wasn't being interviewed. She was already in yes energy. She just wanted to know more details. So that's how slippery this can be. It doesn't even have to be a high stakes moment. We can slip right into, oh gosh, I hope I'm worthy. And you'll know it because your tone is one of over-explaining. Over-explaining seems to sneak in when we are in this energy of what I want is better than me. Another way of thinking of that, let me reverse the language there, is I will be better when it happens. You're better now. You're good now. There's no better. You are the most empowered version of yourself right now, because you can decide to be. And we explored that a lot yesterday. We decided that we are the most powerful version. And then I asked you to do some homework of, hey, what is the one thing you want to commit to? What is that one amazing thing that you want to make a habit of today and start it today? And then when you do that, when you decide that you can be that version of yourself now, you instantly call in all of the ways to make it possible. It's when we've decided we're not her yet until money shows up, that we're actually deciding that we don't know how to do it. But either way, you're right. So we either have to decide that we're not going to be her yet until money shows up or the job shows up or all of the physical evidence around us lines up just right to how we visualized it then and only then. And I'm going to be my most powerful self. That's one decision. Or you can decide that I'm her now. And then if you decide that, which I hope you do, I hope I'm convincing you that that's the way to go. It takes practice because it's a little uncomfortable. It's a little uncomfortable just jumping into the new you. You haven't been her really a lot yet. Or maybe you've played and in the right moments, in the right people, it feels safe. So you go ahead and you be your big expansive self then. But in people that maybe intimidate, or in moments that seem high stakes, or you've made it bigger than it really is, or in a moment where you really, really, really could use that, and we've all been there, I've been there, we slip out of our power suddenly. And so we have to practice in the safety of our bedroom, in the safety of our home, the safety of these beautiful moments. We have to practice holding our power. We have to practice, and it is a practice. It is a practice. Feel that. Please hear that. This is a practice, which is great news. It's not something that you just have to go searching for and pick it up and then hope you never leave it. It never leaves you. This is a decision, which is also good news because you can decide right now. It's a decision that I'm her. And then it's a daily devotional act in service of that decision. I'm going to say that again. It is a decision. It starts with that, to be your most expansive, empowered self. And then after that, the embodiment of her. So embodiment, I believe, is the daily devotional practice of being in relationship with yourself. That's embodiment. Embodiment is not just a physical practice. It's a way of being. It is a way of being with yourself. It is a way of communing with your highest self. And then just like, you meet someone at the coffee pot at work all the time. Everyone seems to come, you and this mysterious person seem to come to the coffee area at work every time at the same day. You must have a break between meetings and you just bump into this person. And at first maybe you just say hi, but over time you see this person again and again and again. Familiarity occurs. And then suddenly you know about their kids, and suddenly you know where they take lunch. And then suddenly you're going out to lunch with them. And then suddenly you've exchanged numbers and you're best friends. The only reason that occurred is because you allowed yourself to be seen. You allowed yourself to show up. You and this stranger who becomes your friend in this work analogy, you two just kept allowing yourself to follow a pattern, follow a habit, follow a rhythm. And that rhythm establishes familiarity, which is the reason friendships fall apart. We just stop seeing each other. The frequency of interaction drops. So what I'm trying to get you to understand here in these 3 mornings together, and hopefully you'll come and join me at some future things, especially this Friday in Liverpool. I don't know when you're watching this replay, or if you're here with me now, as Victoria is. You guys, this Friday, I'm doing this work in person, so you can come and find me in Liverpool. And then next month, there's a lot of cool stuff happening too. Tuesday, I'm up here in Oswego. Catch me in the park watching the sunset. It's going to be beautiful. But this work is happening in person. But also I have a community online called the Rise Holistic Empowerment Membership, where this is done every single month, multiple times a month. We gather and we go through this type of material. So if you're feeling a call, I just want to let you know that there are ways to continue this work, because hopefully you're hearing me, that this is a practice. And we're practicing what exactly? We're practicing familiarity with what? With our highest self. Why? Because if you don't, you won't know her. And if you don't know her, you won't come to be her. And then you'll walk your whole life. And I felt this before. Tell me if you felt this before, but you just kind of feel like It's right there. If I just could get up earlier and go to the gym, I know I could become her. If I just could get that book deal, someone could just tell me I should be an author now. If someone could just give me validation, I could be her. I'm so close. I just need that one thing. And sometimes you do need the one thing. Sometimes it is the one big break. Sometimes it is the chance meet. Sometimes it is the opportunity that does break way. And then suddenly you're on your way in this beautiful direction. Those things happen all the time. But I'm talking about you empowering you. I'm talking about you making the conscious decision, no longer unconsciously waiting. Just like yesterday, we spoke about deciding to choose novelty and deciding to choose challenge rather than the other way around, rather than just waiting for life to choose you. That's what most people are doing. I don't know the number, but I bet you 85 to 90% of human beings on this planet are living life like that because they just don't know any other story. They don't know any other option. And they're not wrong, and they're not terrible people. But if you're here live, and if you're watching this replay and you're still here watching this replay, I can only believe deep in my bones that you're not like those 90% of people. You have a fire inside of you. You want to live differently. You want to learn about yourself. So this is how you not only get to learn about yourself, but wouldn't it be great if you actually became that self? Wouldn't it be great if you actually figured out how to become, not just think about it, not just hope and move toward it, but actually grab it, pull it in, inhale it, and then be that version of you? What if you could do that? Just imagine that for a moment, and maybe you close your eyes. Can you just play for a second in your imagination? What would you be doing? What would your life look like? And it's okay if there's some resistance, because sometimes we just are unable to even visualize it because we haven't practiced visualizing it. So that's okay. Just notice that as you breathe in and out, maybe you can start to see a little more clearly what you desire. Albert Einstein once said that your imagination are previews of what's to come. Can you trust your imagination? Can you trust what you're seeing right now is actually a preview of your life? It's actually going to happen. And when you visualize, go ahead and get into the details. What are you eating for breakfast as your highest self? What's the coffee mug look like? Those details are really important to the unconscious mind when it comes to training the reticular activating system. Now allow that beautiful visualization to float around in your mind. Take a deep breath. Beautiful. Thank you for doing that with me. So I want to get into the thick of it now of how we're actually going to stabilize our power. Here's why that's important. Remember, I was just saying that we've got to practice who we want to be because we're not familiar. And if we become familiar, we'll become best friends with the stranger, right? Suddenly we'll become best friends with ourselves. Suddenly we'll really know what it's all about when we say, I'm her, and I know what she does, and I know who this person is, and I feel really comfortable being her because I've practiced her. So that's all this really is. If you're feeling like, gosh, I can't quite grab her, or I feel like I'm empowered some days, maybe this is you. I feel like I'm empowered some days, and then others, I just fall flat on my face. Oh, change up my position here. This is not working. My legs are falling asleep. Normally I've got this camera spun around and I'm sitting in a chair behind me. Okay, here we go. This will work, I think. Oh, I know what I did last time. I put a blanket under my butt. All right, I got it, you guys. Hold on. Okay. Maybe probably by tomorrow I'll have the perfect setup and then this ends. All right. Here we go. Here we go. So much better. So what we want to do is become familiar with our newest and highest self so that we can quickly access her. And then there's a point, and you'll get there. This isn't how it is at first, but there's a point where you're just showing up as her more and more and more. If you identify, I also got to say, sometimes people, I noticed that when I coach, that sometimes there is no gender even to their highest self. It's just sort of a way of being. So when I say her, I, of course, just referring to my energy. I always think of it as a queen. I always think of it as the highest value I can be. So in my sense and my vibe, it's her, but you might identify as him, the king. You might say it or they. So whatever that it works for you, plug it in. So when we become familiar, when we just wake up as her, when we wake up as our highest self, the conflict is gone. The wondering, can I be this today? The work that's required to hold it steady is neutralized. And when your power is neutralized, what we're saying is that it's actually quite ordinary. Now, not ordinary as in it's not extraordinary. Ordinary is in you will feel powerful like you know your name. Your power will feel like you know your hair color. Your power, it can feel like you can choose what you want to eat. You know how natural that is? You know how natural it is to know your hair color? What if, because you can identify with it, right? You're so familiar with it. There's no question. Oh, what's my hair color? Oh my gosh, I hope I know one day. That's ridiculous. I say go see a doctor if that was if that was a problem for you to tell me about your hair color, right? Because you understand immediately what I'm trying to say. If your power was that natural to you, where you could just speak about it, where you could just be it, that is a sign, and probably the sign, that you have become her. And the way you get there is through practice. So when I say practicing her, what we're really doing also is practicing holding our power. We're practicing neutralizing the power so that it's no longer on a pedestal. When we put our highest self on a pedestal, when we put our most empowered self, wealthy self, healthy self, in love with life self, best parenting self, best wise with money self, all of those things, when they don't feel like they're us already, we put them on a pedestal. And then when things are on a pedestal, what happens? We work really hard to get there, but we're here and that's there. And only if I could just get it, then I will be the most happiest version. But what happens usually? We get there and it doesn't feel as great as we thought, or you get the money and people spend it. We see this all the time with lottery winners. If you win a lot of money, people actually don't know what to do with it. And then one of the reasons is because they actually haven't had the practice with the large amounts of money up until the point where they actually got it. If you could practice with large amounts of money, you would actually practice holding the large amount of money. You would practice identifying as someone who has large amounts of money. You would practice familiarity, repetitiveness as the thought and the feeling of I'm someone who has large amounts of money. Oh, here it is again. I am someone who has large amounts of money. Oh, the feeling again, familiarity, right? Just like the friend example at the water cooler. When we have familiar and multiple hits, multiple moments with the thing we want to become, we become familiar with it. And that is the process of getting the neurons in the brain to reform to the thought, I am confident. I am wealthy. It's a foreign thought at first. So we shun it. We don't want it. No, I'm actually quite broke. We say that's what's comfortable, even though it's not comfortable. It's the comfortable story. So we have to practice over and over and over and over again until we actually form the new neural connections. When we involve the body, we can expedite that because the body holds the feeling of what you want and who you are. And when you can tap into the feeling, it can override the mind that says, I'm not sure. Body says, hell yeah, this is the way of it. We're beautiful now. We're empowered. Mind says, really? I haven't quite fit all the neurons in. Body's like, well, I'm feeling this. I don't know what your problem is. And the mind's just like, I need to think of another month until I'm fully wired. But you're saying you feel it. Body's like, I'm feeling it. What are you doing up there? Let's go. We're already healthy. We're already successful. We're already everything we want. We're already it. It's all here right now. There's no chasing. There's no proving. There's no want. It's here. So just desire it. Just start to feel it. Just start to know it. Just start to be it. And then let your behaviors start to flow out of that channel instead of it flowing out of the channel of, gosh, I hope one day I get it. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. This is an important concept. So now we have to talk about how do we actually stabilize it? Because the magic is right there. Stabilizing your energy is a devotional decision. I'm going to say that again. Stabilizing, neutralizing is another word I love for that. Neutralizing your power, your powerful self, is a devotional, energetic decision. Let's break that down. Devotion, I like that a little bit better than dedication or consistency, although I do like those words too at the right moment. I think they have power, but devotion brings in some essence of the heart, right? There's this, devoted. I'm so devoted. I love it. I love you. That's devotion. And then there's also I think a connotation there of there's going to be some sort of ritual. There's going to be some sort of practice to summon the devotion, or maybe it's already there in your heart because you're just, well, I'm devoted. So it's consistently on your tongue, on your mind, and on your heart. So there's a devotion to this energy. That was the second word. And energy, I mean, the big E, energy is energy of body, energy of mind, energy of spirit or soul. All three must be high. If one's lacking, the others will lack. If two are lacking, the third will surely lack. So we need all three holistically. That's why I coach on a holistic level. I'm a holistic empowerment coach. We look at all different areas of your life when you step into masterminds, when you step into one-on-one, when you step into the holistic membership with me. This is where we look at everything, because if one area is leaking energy, you have a hole in your boat. And you're wondering, gosh, why can't I get there faster? Well, you're getting floppy, right? Your sides aren't firm. There's no integrity. And that's really what we're looking for as we hold our power, is a wholeness. When I say integrity, like this mug has integrity, it's whole. There's no holes in it. There's no leaks in it. There's no cracks. So the integrity of the mug, we would say, is firm, right? Same with us. There's integrity of being right and wrong, and that's good. We should always be in integrity with being just and moral. But I speak of integrity as like wholeness. Like, is this phone have integrity, or is there a crack in the screen? Luckily, I don't have one right now, but most people walk around with cell phones with cracks in their screen. Their cell phone screen does not have integrity. So for us, we have to make sure that we have wholeness. When you are whole and you are integral, like this mug, you can hold what needs to go in the mug. Think about that for a second. When you are whole and you have integrity, you can hold your power. You can hold the liquid. You can hold the power. Most of us are not whole yet. And so there's somewhere in our energy system, we have a crack. We have a breach in the hull, and we're leaking energy, but we're saying, but look it over here, Kim. My physical practice is through the roof. I say, okay, well, what about your soul? What about your spirit? Well, I don't really know about that. Okay, well, that's a leak. You say, Kim, look at my energy practice. My devotional practice is through the roof. I say, great. Well, tell me about your embodiment practice. Well, I don't really do any of that. There's your leak. Okay, well, Kim, my embodiment practice and my spiritual practice are through the roof. I've been doing everything you tell me. Okay, good. Well, tell me about your mindset. Are you ruminating? Oh, yeah, I ruminate a lot. Well, then there's your mental leak. And so we really have to make sure that those three are strong. And this comes down to you practicing awareness of those three systems, the energy of your mind. Where are your thoughts going? How likely are you to stick in the mud and ruminate? Can you pull yourself out? How do you pull yourself out? Okay, you can pull yourself out of ruminating thoughts, but where do you land? How do you know what to think about? Think about that. How do you know what to think about? Most of us are running on a script. This is so silly to think about, but it's true. What do you know what to think about? How do you know what to think about? Where do your thoughts land? Can you put new thoughts in place? Can you associate with new people? Can you listen to new words? Can you put them in this beautiful black box of your brain and let your brain have new thoughts? It's like fertilizer for your soil in your garden. You have to interject new thoughts. Novelty, going back to yesterday, right? Novelty. It's really important. Put in new thoughts to have new mental energy. Now, what about your soul? What about your spirit? Do you believe in source? Do you believe in God? Do you believe in a higher power? Do you believe in some sort of energy and hum? And how often do you connect with that? Can you trust it? Do you know you're being looked after? Do you know that you believe in your soul, that you are being guided, that there's connections and it's not just serendipity, it's actually your life unfolding in a specific way? Do you believe that you have some power over that you can change your thoughts? And if you change your thoughts, you can raise your vitality, that you can heal your cells. And there's a lot of evidence out there that your thoughts are connected to the health and well-being of every single cell in your body. There's a lot of evidence that daily meditation and coherence between heart and mind can rid people of diabetes and some cancers. That evidence is out there. Do you believe that? And if you're like, no, well, then I would say go to Google Scholar and look up the evidence, because it's there. The data is there. And start to just familiarize yourself with this data. And then let that produce a feeling in your body of, what if I could do that? What if is such a powerful statement. So what if you could be your most powerful self now? What if you could build in habits every single day to practice running into her? That's all we need to do. We need to practice running into your highest self. And the more you do that, the more you will hold your power. When we say hold the power, all we're saying is get familiar with her. If you don't know how to hold your power, it's because you're not familiar with her. It's like the lottery winners. They just win the big chunk of money and all of a sudden it shows up and you're like, who the hell are you? Okay, a lot of money. I know that I should be excited right now, but I'm actually terrified. This feels weird. I don't know who I am with you. It's foreign. It's odd. It's wonderful, but I actually haven't brought it in. And so it's not me. It's awkward. I'll try to pretend I know how to do things with a lot of money, but most people overspend. Here's why they overspend. When you overspend, you actually bring yourself right back to the person you were before the money. Because if you have a lot of money, it means that you have a lot of, well, I suppose, visibility, right? And visibility in some way is responsibility. And so if we're allowing ourselves to say, yeah, I'm a person who has a lot of money, well, then I'm a person probably who has shown up a lot to get that money. And then if I've shown up a lot to get that money, not in the lottery, I guess that's what's weird about it. So let's go back to just an example of you working hard on your goals and your dreams and you never giving up. If you suddenly have a lot of money through that, Well, that means you're someone who worked hard. You're someone who never gave up. You're someone who's doing like what I'm doing right now. I'm going live. I believe in my mission. I believe in connecting with people and bettering their lives and talking about these things. I think it's the coolest thing ever. I'm having so much fun right now. You wouldn't I feel like I'm at Disney World right now. I truly do. I truly do. You might think that's weird, but this is my soul. I'm speaking for my soul. That's it. This is so much fun. This is the coolest thing ever. So for me, I'm going to keep going. Right? This isn't a numbers game for me. This is just my soul. I'm going to keep speaking on this. So if I show up and I make myself more visible, that means, right? Because I made a lot of money. So that means I showed up, I kept going. Let's keep following that. If I showed up and if I kept going, then that must mean that I'm someone who doesn't mind responsibility. And if I don't mind responsibility, that really means that I don't mind the ability to respond to life. That means that I don't mind actually being seen. That means that I don't mind showing up. That means that I don't mind accountability. That means that I'm probably an empowered person, because only empowered people would want to do that. But I'm actually not. So I'm going to go ahead and spend that money as soon as I get it, because I actually don't want to be responsible. So this is usually why people overspend. This is why I used to overspend. Whenever I'd get a dime, I would just go and spend it, because I really actually just want to bring myself back down to the place of where I felt comfortable. So this is why it's really critical that you practice your power, that you practice holding it. And so that you can stabilize it and neutralize it, so that it's just like, yeah, I'm empowered. Yeah. Yeah, it's cloudy out and rainy today, actually. Let's get to the point where we can talk about empowerment and your power, to the point where it's like you're talking about the weather or ordering something off a menu. That's what I mean by neutralizing it. When you stabilize your power, you're no longer proving. When you stabilize your power, you're no longer in the maiden energy of trying to convince other people. You're no longer in the fawn, doe-eyed and fawning, which means that you're probably not speaking up. You're not speaking in your authentic voice either. Do you know your authentic voice? Do you know what it sounds like? When I started hearing my authentic voice for the first time, I almost didn't recognize it. I almost didn't trust it. It's much deeper. This is it. I used to speak higher and faster. And then I like to move around a lot when I speak. I used to think I have to be really still. There's a lot of misconceptions I had about speech that I just had it naturally eroded away from my body. So when we say we have to practice getting familiar with our powerful self, when we practice it, we start to become familiar with her, and then it's no big deal. Just like it's no big deal, you become friends with someone. It's no big deal. I've known you. You fall in love with someone. There's so much giddiness at first, right? That's because the passionate person, the person you're trying to fall in love with or you're smitten by, is on a pedestal. And so we do all these things. We get ready. We try to impress. We try to convince. I'm the one you should be with. Please be with me. But when we neutralize our lover, when we realize that we're just as powerful, if not the more seductive, the more powerful one, they come off the pedestal. And this is what happens in relationships when you've been together and married for a long time, or even just a short year. Suddenly the power in your relationship becomes neutralized, hopefully. And it's beautiful at that point, right? It's beautiful because suddenly you're just on the same level. You've brought them in, they've brought you in, and you're one. And your love is neutral, it's natural. And from there, we show up as someone who's in love every day. And we act from that point of love and happiness. Someone who's in love. You can tell when they've neutralized it. They're walking around like they've won $1 million because they feel that way, right? You feel when you're in love, like nothing can stop you. Why? Think about that. It's because you've won. You've been chosen in that moment. They've chosen you. They've bestowed their love upon you. You're like, yes, it's what I wanted and I won. Must mean I'm pretty enough. Must mean I'm sexy enough. Must mean I'm in love enough. Must mean I can do all these things enough. So what if we could do that for ourselves? What if we could decide and choose us right now? What if we could say, you're the one I'm going to fall in love with? I've chosen you. What if you knew you're already chosen by Source? Source is going, oh my God, when is she going to know that she's just been chosen? She's already been chosen. The vote's in. She's already won. When is she, guys, when is she going to start to know this? When is she going to start to act accordingly? Because right, we're not getting any younger. So let's go ahead and fall in love with ourselves. Let's go ahead and act like we've been chosen. Do you feel that? That's the start of neutralizing. That's the start of actually occupying your power. Now, the first step, occupy it. Put it on like a coat, get in that thing, love it, and just get familiar with that. Once you become familiar by practicing your power, we start to neutralize it. Now, this is where it gets really fun, because now you can go out to a cocktail party or go out to dinner or go do a job interview, and you can practice holding your power. And this is where embodiment practices always should start in your day, because you can go out into the world and you can act accordingly. You can act like your powerful self. And what you say is, what would she do? How would she act? What would she order off the menu? How would she dress today? How would she speak? How would she move down the street? I mean, all of this literally. I'm not speaking figuratively right now. You literally act. Victoria, the actress, here we are, right? You know what it's like to probably be a character. You have to totally act like them. Well, we get into their head. This is what we do for our own power. We act until we become. And every day you act like that person, you're rewiring the neurons in your brain, and the heart and the mind are becoming one. Because not only are you thinking like her, but you're feeling like her. So this is where we're going to enter into today's empowerment and the embodiment practice. We're going to move now in just a moment. But for today's radical ritual, I want you really to focus on how do I move as her, as the most powerful one? Here's the question, here's the activating question. If my power was already known, if my power was already neutralized, and by neutralize, I mean, yep, I'm empowered. No big deal. It's no big deal. It's so normal to me. If your power was that neutralized, that it was seen as normal, how would you move your body? Because there's a part of you that will move in a radical ritual disempowered. And that's not wrong. We don't hate that we love that version of us. A disempowered version of us needs to be there so that we can feel the contrast of, wow, I'm empowered. Oh, I'm not. Oh, this is how we practice. We yo-yo for a little bit in our practice. That's good. I want you to yo-yo. I want you to feel like, whoops, I'm not her. Whoops, I'm back to her. This feels good. I can tell I'm in my empowered self right now. Oh, I'm not. I just let it go. Someone asked me a question and I responded with I tried to get them to prove. That's maiden energy. Okay, that's my old self. Whoop, I'll come back. And that's what you do. You just decide. It's easy. You summon her, you call upon her, you bring her out, and you adjust in your body. This is a physical adjustment. This is my disempowered self. This is me hiding. This is me not hiding. Look at, even I lifted my chin to expose the carotid artery. This is a very vulnerable place, but I'm showing you with my body, right? You can show me with your body. You can show everyone today with your body that you're your most empowered self. They won't know you're practicing. They won't know that somewhere just next to your power is a part of you that's like, can we be doing this? Will anyone, will someone know we're faking it? No one's going to know your empowered self says. And plus we're practicing it. And this is how you do it. You practice it. You repeatedly interact with her. And then one day, I promise you, this is a big promise, but I can stand behind it because I've experienced it and I've seen people do this. One day you just wake up and you just look around and you go, who lives here? Whose mess is that? That's not mine. I've had those thoughts and I'm like, oh, this is old Kim. oh my gosh, I can see it. And that's a sign you've really started to occupy and own and become and neutralize your new power. And no judgment, right? This is like love. This is love. We're just seeing it and we're laughing. You have a laugh at it. You go, oh my God, I can see the result of old Kim. I can see the result of my old self. It's a mess. It's okay. I love that version of me. She got me here. She got me here. But now I'm going to keep her and you can go. You're released from this job. I'm here now. And we hold our power. And then every day it's a daily devotional energetic practice to holding and maintaining. This is the spiritual maintenance. You're a gardener. You have to go in and clip the weeds. You have to tend to the soil. This never stops. This is the beauty of it. Like, hallelujah. Because the practice you get to enter into is the initiation into holding the most magnificent thing, which is you. Every single day, you get to tend to the energy of you. That is a gift. That is a gratitude. Thank you. Thank you, Source, that I finally made contact with the highest me. Do you feel that? I finally made contact with the highest me, and now I get to maintain her. This is fun. This is, oh my God, what? This is who I get to be? Let's go. Okay. So that is the maintaining of power. We really get to neutralize her. We step out of begging and proving. We no longer prove. And if someone is asking a lot of questions, we actually get the decision, the discernment to say, you know what? I don't need to be in this conversation. I don't need to prove. And most people won't like it, and that's okay because you're a mirror for how they're begging in life. Most people won't like your power sometimes, not all the people, but some people won't like your power because you're going to be mirroring back to them how they're constantly in their fawn and maiden energy or their prince energy when they really need to be in their king energy. You're going to mirror to them the work that they haven't done. That's not your job to care about that. Your job is to trust that they're going to continue on their path and they'll find someone who's a little bit of a lower frequency, not in a bad way, just different, not lower as in I'm higher and you're lower, but just different. And they're going to find someone that's slightly different than their energy, but can help them rise up. And then they'll leave and then they'll go on their path and they'll find another person who's slightly different energy that can help them rise up. And eventually they'll get to where you are. But your job isn't to lessen and decrease, to change in order to help someone where they're at. You have to, that's you going back. That breaks the code. And that doesn't work. That's not the laws of the universe. You have to maintain. You have to devote daily to the maintenance, the spiritual maintenance of your highest self. And this is where it gets really juicy. And this is where you can serve the most people. This is where you can love the highest amount. This is where you can pivot quickly in life circumstances. You can quickly decide and you can get to laugh more and you can get to play more and you can get to go, cool, this is the funnest thing ever. This is the most fun I've ever had in my life. Yes, there's challenge. Yes, there's still difficulties. Yes, I still allow my heart to break when it needs to break. I'm still a human, but I don't hurt as much anymore. And I don't stay there too long anymore. And I don't allow myself to really slip into modes of, I hope you accept me. No, because I've done the work and I do it every day. And I love myself so fiercely. That's the power. I love myself so fiercely that I don't need anyone else to love me. But because, listen, that doesn't isolate you. Because you love yourself so fiercely, you show up like this and you love more. You actually love the most you've ever. You care the most you've ever cared. You love the most you've ever given. You give the most you've ever given. It was the old you that actually was the selfish you. That was the you that didn't give a lot. But this new you, this empowered you, where your power is just neutralized, you give your power, but not to everyone. You give it to the right people. And because you're more powerful, you don't do all the things. You don't suddenly become very busy. Listen to this. You don't become very busy. You just do the right things. So there's a level of discernment that drops right into your lap. We have to start moving. Okay, I'm going to find music. So what we're going to do now. Okay, I saw your comment. Awesome, Victoria. Okay, so you totally, that was on the money for you. And that sounds like it resonates with what I was saying. Okay, perfect. So this is so important. When we're going to call in right now for our movement session, for our radical ritual method, is how play right now. Just play. How would my most empowered self move to the music I'm about to feel? Okay. And come on up to standing when you're ready. Let's stretch our beautiful legs. Okay. Oh, let's try we're going to try a set I've never heard before. We're going to inject some novelty here. Let's give it a shot, right? Okay. So the first part of radical ritual is to raise the energy. The arms come up and down just like this. And if that bothers the shoulders, you can go out right in front of you like this. And if you don't want to do that at all, you can just have your arms still and just pump the breath in and out. In, out, in, out, in, out. Inhale, exhale. And I like to go fast, but you can go slower. We raise the energy to move beyond the thoughts of the mind. We raise energy to feel, to expand our perception of how powerful we are. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, hold that V for victory. Hold the breath in. I like to lift the throat to really expose my voice box, my vulnerability. Exhale, release. And then the arms might want to start to lift. You might start to feel sway. Phase or element 2, layer 2 of the radical ritual is respond. Just let the spine undulate. We go right back into the second round when you're ready. Raising energy. And maybe you feel like a locomotive today where you start slow. And then you build that power and the breath matches the arms. Through the darkest of night. Raising that solar energy, that sun energy in the body. And 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath in. Hold that V for victory. 1 already. Exhale, release. How does your body want to move? Anything goes here. There's no wrong way. No wrong way to move. Third round when you're ready. Guide yourself through it. Awakening the ankles. Walk in place. I like to circle and just greet all areas of my room. In a way, I'm summoning the energy. I'm clearing the space for what I'm about to occupy, right? Because we're about to get big. We're about to really expand ourselves. We're prepping the place. Prepping the space. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Hold that V. Deep breath in. Top off the lungs. Maybe take another sip in. Exhale, release. To the universe around. Feel the legs. Feel the feet. Feel the pelvis. Closing down the eyes sometimes tonight. Feel your limbs moving. Through the darkest of night. I want to start to feel right now. How does your most empowered self feel on an energetic level? Decide to feel it right now. Boom, decision done. How does your most empowered self, turned on self, enlivened self? Boom. your motion gets a little bit bigger here, sweeping left to right. You can always follow along with me if you're like, okay, what should I do now? Get ideas and inspiration from me. Or if you have a little bit more experience with embodiment. Okay, this beat does not have any beat at all. Let's go back to this. There we go. You can always go back to closing the eyes down, doing your own thing. Yes, that's it. Keep going, keep going. If your energy drops at all, you can go back to pumping the arms up and down. Just to kick up that energy again. Do it as often as you need, and you'll cycle from 1, 2, raise energy, and then respond. You're in control here, so you know what to do right now. 3, 2, 1, hold the breath. Yes, exhale, flow. How does she move? How does your most powerful self move? Find that right now. Don't block any of it. Try to move in a way you haven't moved yet. Tap into new physical pathways. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Stay in the body with this one. Breathing as you move. Breathing as you move. Woo! Okay, so now we're going to tape it into step 3, which is that recalibration. For recalibration, move outside of the rhythm. Find your own rhythm and make it jagged. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Gonna go out of rhythm, out of rhythm. Shake, you can even jump up and down. Make it a little chaotic for a moment. A little bit of chaos, a little bit of chaos. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. And go back into flow, go back into flow. Let out that sigh. And we can pull in the power of imagination and visualization right now. Very powerful. Visualize yourself going throughout your day as your most powerful self right now. And then I like to bring in sacred gesture. I imagine myself online. I actually have my hands like I'm on a computer right now. Maybe there's touch screen involved, my cell phone. I move my energy around throughout the day with my hands right now. I'm imagining moving big orbs of energy. Maybe I hold a large stack of cash in my hands and I understand the love in exchange that allowed that money to come in. Yes, that's it. Keep moving. Trust yourself. Trust yourself right now. Shatter your limitations right now. Don't hold yourself back. Feel, and if your energy drops, you can go right back into pumping the arms. You guys know how to do this now. Beautiful. We've got one more recalibration coming up. That recalibration is to show your nervous system we can do our own thing. We can look different. We can sound different. We can behave differently. And it's safe. The world needs our uniqueness. Take breath in, hold the breath. Exhale. And go right into respond. Not so much dancing as it is just letting your body cut through space. Let it interact with the molecules of air around you. Woo. Fluidity and power and breath all mixing together without you blocking any of it. Find a sensual moment right now. Just connect with your temple, connect with your body, give it gratitude, give it love. We got one more minute here. One more minute. Beautiful. Getting ready for one more recalibration. The recalibration is you. Permission to look ugly, permission to look jagged, permission to look weird. I want you going really big. You ready? Go really big with me. See if you can beat me on my weirdness. See if you can be more weird than me right now. Go. Go crazy, go crazy. Let it all out. Let it all out. You can scream if you want to. Try to go out of rhythm with the music, out of rhythm. Woo! And back into flow, back into flow, back into rhythm. Yes, beautiful. Is there a way your body wants to move that you haven't allowed it to do that yet? Go for it. Trust it. You're right. That's exactly how you should have moved. Feel that? That's empowerment embodied. Giving yourself permission. Practicing your highest yes right now. Beautiful. Slow down the motion a little bit. Slow it down. You're doing a great job. Inhale, deep breath in, arms come up. Exhale, release them out. Deep breath in, up and out. Good. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Slow it down now, and then finding stillness just for a second. Closing the eyes. Connect with your temple, hand on the heart, hand on the belly. Maybe there's still a little sway through the torso, sway through the legs. Visualize yourself in your day. And the magic activating question of the day is, what if your power was already stabilized? What if it was just so natural? How would your day look? What decisions would you make? Is there something you've been sitting on, waiting for? Because it's outside of you. You know what it is. Everyone's got something. It's a little scary. It's a little intimidating. Pull it in with your hands right now. Can you reach out for it? Use sacred gesture, body codes. Pull it in to your heart. And it's you. It's done. What you desire is you. It's more of you. It's not the thing. It's not the object. It's not the end result. It's actually you desire more of yourself, to be seen, to be witnessed, to be loved. So you just pulled it in, and now it's a part of you. And it's easy like that. It's just so easy. What will you do today? What is the one small thing you'll do today? Now that your power has been neutralized, now that you've just pulled in what you desired and it's you, it's already here. Knowing that, what's the one small thing you're going to do today? Come to your journal, come to your pen. When you're ready, write that down. If you want to put it in the chat, go ahead. Those of you watching the replay, put it underneath the video. Use that channel, use the comment section as the place for you to build a accountability. I'll come in, I read every single one, I read every comment, and I'll witness you. I'll heart it, I'll like it, I will comment back and witness you in your transformation, witness you in your accountability. Yes. Good. And then I also want you, when you're done writing, to visualize yourself coming back to practice tomorrow morning, or whenever you decide, whenever you can do it. Beautiful, Victoria. Love that. Walk in the rain. Yes. See yourself practicing to tomorrow's day 3. And then see yourself right now. This is how we do it. This is how we hold ourselves in the current of what we want, is we visualize the next day. So visualize tomorrow for just a moment. And this gets the brain ready for what you're going to do tomorrow. It kind of gets the workers up here ready to take action. And so today actually will get you in preparation for tomorrow. So see yourself tomorrow embracing this practice, feeling the way you feel right now. You're going to feel it tomorrow. And it's done. You've already decided. And if you haven't yet, I want you to write down on your notes too, today I decide to be, and fill in the blank. And this could be some nice homework too, is to feel into that a little bit more after our call, after this moment. Today I decide to be empowered. Today I decide to be decisive. Today I'm deciding to be wealthy. I'm deciding. Wealth is a decision. Love is a decision. Empowerment is an energetic decision. Okay? Take that deep breath in, however you want to thank your body in your temple, hugging yourself, connecting with your body, and deepest, deepest gratitude to you for being here with me today. I appreciate you so much. And I hope this served you greatly. And I will be with you again tomorrow for our day 3 of the Radical Ritual Masterclass series. And hopefully I'll see you guys, if you're in the area, see you this Friday, or catch you inside of some memberships that I've got so we can continue this practice, but more on that tomorrow. Okay. Love you so much. Have an awesome day.